Hello YouTube, this is Hamza6 on the Edge Project Media, and in this tutorial I will be showing you a couple of methods on how to speed up Windows 7 to the fastest speed possible. Now I'll be showing you lots of methods that you could use to tweak your operating system, such as tweaking your visuals, defragmenting your hard drive, and disabling a couple of services that are useless, etc, etc, etc. Now let's begin with the first method. So the first method is about disabling unwanted Windows 7 visual effects. Now what we're going to do is tweak our UI and disable the arrow theme. What the arrow theme is it gives Windows 7 the eye candy looks. For example, as you can see over here, you see this my start menu and taskbar have a really nice looks. Now getting rid of them will vastly improve your Windows 7 operating system speed, especially if you have old hardware, because Windows arrow theme uses a lot of graphical resources, so let's make it not be a burden for your graphics card. So what we're going to do first is click on the start menu, then go to computer, right click it, then properties, then go to advanced system settings, then you click on the advanced tab over here, then on performance click on settings. Now this is where you're going to configure the style of your Windows 7 arrow theme. Now what I'm going to do is click on this, adjust for best performance, and you're probably asking yourself what's going to happen once you click on apply or OK. Now what's going to happen is that it's going to get rid of this whole theme that you see right over here. It will turn into the old Windows classic look. If you owned or used Windows XP before or saw it from before, you might have noticed how classy it used to look like, because of some people used to disable themes, so it looked just like the old Windows XP or Windows 98. Now if you want to keep your visual styles, let me just let you preview how would it look like after adjusting it for best performance. Okay, now as you can see, there's been quite a huge change in the style of the whole thing. Now if you dislike it looking like this but you still want it to be fast, you could still use it with it affecting a little bit of your speed. So if you click on apply, with this checked of course, you'll have the theme back, but you cannot customize the theme because you have all this stuff disabled here. If you're still not satisfied, you could use drop shadows, and some of you might get annoyed from this. Now as you can see with the normal theme, when you move this, the contents will be dragged at the same time instead of showing you a gray box, because you can see there are edges here. Now if you find that annoying, then you could press on one of these, which is, I think, let me find it. This one, show window contents while dragging. As you can see now, it's moving with the mouse without showing you those gray bars. Now for this tutorial I'm going to disable everything, click on apply, and restore the ugly theme, which I find good looking. Okay. Now the second method is about disabling unwanted or useless services in Windows 7. Now there are lots of services that Microsoft offers, such as a service that is for Windows Defender, or a service for Windows Firewall, or a service for your theme. All these are useful, but there are lots of services that they offer that are not useful for you at all, and they consume your computer's resources. So disabling them will free up lots of RAM and will reduce the burden on your CPU. Now let's proceed by disabling the services by going to start menu. Then in the search bar here, write in it services. Then you click on services. Now I'm too lazy to memorize what service should I disable, so I put them all in a list, and I'm going to definitely put this in the video description. Now the first service that we're going to disable is application experience, which is useless. Now IP helper also will be disabled. Make sure you stop the service, then you disable it. Also, if you are unsure about the service, for example, if you have doubts that there might be security issues after disabling service, or you feel that the system will fail, will have a failure and crash, you could read the description of what the service does, and it's not really necessary for you to disable them. You could put them on manual if you are afraid of something to happen. I'll put on disabled anyways. Now, parental controls, this is self-explanatory from the title. Say that you're a parent and you have kids, and you know the rest. Now, network access protection agent. Now, this is, well, if you read the description, it will gather information about computers in your network. That's how I'm gonna summarize it for you guys. Smart. Okay, now the smart card is really not useful. It's only used in the big organizations. So I'm gonna keep this on manual. Now Windows Media Player, which is right over here. Now I prefer that you guys put these two on manual because they really aren't useful. They're useless in my opinion. You could read the description, of course. Now, fax. Also disable this if you do not use a fax. Now, the home group is a definite must for you to not use. Like, I prefer you to disable this instead of putting on manual, because home groups are not really useful. They're only useful if you want to transfer files through your network wirelessly or in a wired way, which I find useless because you could easily use a USB. Now, find tablet PC input service. Now this, it's a must that you disable this, because here's a question that will answer why you should disable this. Is your laptop or a PC a tablet? No, then disable it. If you use a printer, then don't disable print spooler. Now you also have a routing and remote access service. This is not really useful if you're at home, but at business or at work, yes it is. Oh, and by the way, disabling services can also speed up your boot time as well. Now you have BitLocker drive encryption service. Now BitLocker is basically an encryption program that provides secure way of, well, I don't know how to explain this to you, but in the description it says that it provides secure startup for the operating system, as well as volume encryption for the OS, fixed or removable volumes. This service allows BitLocker to prompt users for various actions related to their volumes when mounted, blah 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 blah. We don't need this, so I keep it to manual. Now we also have the encryption file system. Keep this set to manual. Certificate propagation. This is related to smart cards, so I prefer to keep this disabled as well. Also have the Microsoft ISCSI initiator service, which allows you to initiate remote, like you could, for example, like TeamViewer. TeamViewer is a program that allows you to access another computer remotely. This service allows you to also access another computer remotely, but you don't actually need to use this because Windows 7's remote access utility sucks, to be honest. Now, also disable netlogon. Now, you don't really need this as well because it's also used for businesses. You have the remote desktop configuration, which you can also set to manual, including the remote desktop services, and that's it. You also yeah, we already disabled the smart card. Oh no, we didn't. Yeah, you also should disable the smart card as well. Now, for Windows Firewall, if you do not have a firewall, then I prefer that you keep this enabled. But if you do have a firewall, or let's say that you have an antivirus that's labeled as antivirus internet security, then that's enough because it's an antivirus with a firewall together, bundled. So you can disable this. If you have an antivirus, then you can also disable Windows Defender. Having an antivirus enabled and this enabled at the same time is really a waste of resources. Now you have remote registry, which is a must that you disable it because of security issues with it. Because if someone gets a rat and infects you with it, and you have this disabled, he cannot access your registry remotely, so you have an advantage here. Now, secondary logon. Now, take care from this because if you disable this and you have 2 user accounts, then there's going to be a problem. So, well, not exactly a problem. It won't allow you to have 2 user accounts logged in at the same time. So if you do not use 2 user accounts, then you can disable this, because I don't. Now we also have security center, which I find really annoying, such as this. This is the reason I hate this, so I'm going to keep it disabled. It's your choice if you want to keep it enabled or not. You also have server, which is also useless if you have a home. If you're home, you also have the TCP IP NetBIOS helper, which not really is that useless, but it's useful. If you want, you could set it to manual or disabled. It's your choice. Now themes. Now take care here, because if you have visual styles here and you disable themes, then you won't be able to see, then your theme will go back to the classic style, such as this theme over here. So do not disable this if you're still using visual styles. If you're not, then go ahead and disable it. You also have something else called the desktop Windows Session Manager, which is the exact same thing. You could disable it. Now another one is computer browser, which also is useless. You also have the diagnostic policy service. Of course, disable this because you really don't need to troubleshoot a problem, because troubleshooting is honestly useless. It really is useless. We also have the portable device enumerator service. Disable that. SSDP discovery, also disable this one. Or you know what, let's keep this one, but if you want to, you can go ahead and disable it. Now if you have Bluetooth and you still use it on your laptop, then you can keep this to manual. If you don't, then you can go ahead and stop it and disable it. You also have the remote desktop configuration, which is already disabled with me. Set to manual. Now Windows Time. Windows Time is used to synchronize with the internet. It synchronizes your time with the internet so that you could have the correct time. But if you don't use the internet, like say that your internet bill is coming up and you cannot use your internet, then disabling this will be useful. But I prefer that you set this to manual so that you could have a correct time. Also, you have one that's called Windows Connect now. Now this, if you're running a laptop, then keep it enabled. But if you have a desktop, then go ahead and disable it. What this does is allow you to connect to wireless networks. And we're all done with the services. This was really long. Now this third method is going to be about speeding up your boot time. Now we disabled earlier we disabled the visual styles for Windows 7, and we also disabled a couple of services that are useless, which also both improve the boot time of your computer. Now we're going to speed it up a little bit more by going to the msconfig and changing how many processors your boot uses, so that it could start up. Now, if you're a single core user, then this method is going to be useless for you. But if you are a multi-core user, then this is going to be useful for you. So first, open the start menu and write in it msconfig. Click on it. Next, go to boot. And over here on the timeout, I prefer that you put this on 15 seconds. Some people say that it's best that you put it on 3 seconds, but no, I prefer not. Because you might have dual booting. For example, you have Windows 7 and Windows XP installed at the same time, so having this set to 3 seconds is going to be really annoying. So I prefer you put this at 15 seconds. Now go to Advanced Options, Number of Processors, and choose the amount of cores you have. I have 4, so I'm going to use all 4, or I'm going to use 3. Yeah, okay, fine, 4 it is. I'm going to use all my processors, my cores, to speed up my boot time. I click on Apply, OK, and ignore this message here. Now this method is going to be about disabling the useless features Windows 7 offers you. Now let's go and configure the useless features. Now click on the start menu and type in it Windows Features. And click on turn Windows Features on or off. Now you're gonna have this dialog pop up or box. Wait for it to load all the features of your operating system. Okay. Now Windows 7 is going to offer you, of course it's going to be checked, so Windows 7 is going to offer you a couple of games that are really boring. So I prefer you disable this unless you like to play these games just for fun if you're bored or you have no internet connection. Now scroll down and find tablet PC components. Disable this as well, because your laptop really or PC is not a tablet PC. Press on OK and we're done. Now this method will involve changing your power plan settings. Now what the power plan is that it configures how much energy it must consume in order for your computer to be faster. I'll not explain this well, but here's a good example. Now say that you have your CPU and it's not running so fast and you feel like it's slow. That's because the default power plan setting in Windows 7 is balanced. Now we're going to change it to high performance. Changing it to high performance will cause the processor to function completely. That means your CPU will begin to run on full power instead of half. So you might be asking yourself how to change the power plan settings. Well, you go to Start menu, then you write Power Plan. Then you click on Choose Power Plan, and then you're going to probably have it set here, but let's put it into high performance. If you won't find high performance here, then you could press on this button, which is called Show Additional Plans, and you'll find high performance here. As you can see over here in the description of this power plan, it says favors performance, but may use more energy. Now in this method, we are going to disable a couple of startup items and disabling unwanted sound effects in Windows 7. Now I forgot to, when we were talking about the method of speeding up your boot time, I forgot to mention about the startup item, so I'm going to do it right now. So first you're going to have to open the start menu and type in it msconfig again. Go to startup, and here you could manage what program starts up. Now I'm going to disable this, and well, that's it. I'm gonna click on apply. Okay. Now, how to disable the unwanted sound effects? Now, sound effects use system resources as well. Might be unbelievable, but it's actually believable because, well, I don't know how to explain this part, but sounds use a couple of your, for example, let's say that you are playing a game. When your computer freezes, the sound begins to lag. Now, this can also happen with Windows 7 when you have this, when the sound's open, because sometimes the sounds may lag your computer and might crash. I'm just saying an example here. I'm not like being totally serious because I don't think this even is true. So let's disable the sound effects just to slightly speed up the operating system. If you don't want to, then you can skip this step and go to the other method. Now you're gonna go to, now of course you should have the speakers here. You should right click it, then go to sounds. Now click on this, then go to, or no, wait, go to no sounds, and then save it as, let's say, tweaked. Press on OK, press on apply, and you will no longer hear Windows sounds, and hopefully your computer won't lag from the sounds. Now in this method we're going to add more RAM to your computer. Now this is not going to be physical, this is going to be virtual. We'll be using paging file as extra RAM. What paging file is it's RAM that you use from your hard drive. You allocate the amount of the, say that you're going to allocate 4 gigabytes from your hard drive, so that, say that you're using a program and it's using more RAM than you have, it will begin using RAM from your hard drive, which is much slower than the RAM that you have in your computer, which is physical. Virtual RAM, which is paging file, is much slower than that, but it's useful so that your computer won't crash and get a blue screen of death. So how can we change the paging file or allocate more space? Now you go to start menu, right click on computer, properties, advanced system settings, go to advanced, and then go to change here, which is at virtual memory. Now you're going to click on custom size. Now now here it will differ between 32-bit operating systems and 64-bit, because 32-bit could have a maximum of 4 gigabytes allocated to it, while 64-bit can have an unlimited amount. But I prefer that you put 8 gigabytes for 6 to 8 gigabytes. Well, it depends on the amount of RAM you have. So say that your computer or PC or laptop or PC has 3 gigabytes of RAM and it's 32-bit, you could add 4 gigabytes, which is 4096, and also on the maximum size include the same exact value. But for 64-bit and you have, say, 4 gigabytes, you could add more if you want. In this case, I'll be adding 4096 because I really need my hard drive space. I'm too greedy. So you're gonna press on set and press on OK. OK. Apply. OK. OK. Start later. And that's the end of this method. Now this is probably going to be the last method for this tutorial. This method is going to be about third-party applications. Now, there are lots of third-party applications that speed up your operating system, such as CC Cleaner, which removes junk files and cleans your browser history and a couple of other stuff in your operating system. It also cleans the registry, and it also allows you to uninstall programs easily, other than the uninstaller that Windows 7 provides you. You also have Advanced System Care, which is a really good optimizing application. You have also Advanced System Optimizer, which is also an excellent utility. But what we're going to be using is a defragmenter. Now, I understand that we already have a defragmenter here in your properties, in your hard drive properties and tools, but I prefer that you use a third-party one because I say it's much better than this. You could use IOBIT's defragger, or you could use Piriform's defragler. Both are good. Now, let me open Advanced System Care for you. Go to Toolbox and then Smart Defrag. Yeah. Well, seems that I don't have it installed. I don't know why. I think I installed it yesterday. It can defrag your metafile tables. It can also defrag your boot time. It could also defrag your paging file, which is very, very, very good. Now, I prefer you download those, or if you're not in the mood or don't want to download any more applications on your computer, then you could simply right-click on your hard drive, Properties, Tools, and then you click on Defragmentation, Defragment now. You could analyze disk and check how fragmented your drive is, and then defrag it. Okay, this is the last method. I assure you it's going to be the last one. It's about customizing your taskbar. Now this is optional. If you want, you can go ahead and close the video and leave and continue with your own life. If you want, you can go ahead and follow up with me so that you could know this really nice feature that you could do with your taskbar. Now remember that Windows XP, when it used to have those icons here, it included icons that, for example, when you install a program, you have an icon down there and it has show desktop and all of those stuff. I forgot what it's called, but I think it's called Centray, or no, I think it's something related to speed opener or something like that. I'm going to show you how to bring it here on Windows 7 on your taskbar. How? Well, by using toolbars, of course, for your taskbar. First, you have to right-click on the taskbar and unlock the taskbar. Now, before you do that, you're going to have to make a folder inside your computer. I'm going to go to my documents. I'm going to make a new one. And I'm going to name this new folder as, let's call it as toolbar. Now I'm going to put a couple of shortcuts inside this folder. Let's say I want TeamViewer, League of Legends, Adobe Photoshop, and Skype. I simply take all these icons and drag them into this folder. Now, you're gonna right-click on your taskbar, go to Toolbars, and then make a new toolbar. Then you go to your folder that you made that has the icons, and you press on Select Folder. Then you right-click on this text and press on Show Text. Right-click it again and Show Title. As you can see, we have a couple of icons here. and it's just like Windows XP. You could position it wherever you want. You could even move this stupid language thingy. I don't even know why it's over here. And well, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'm really sorry for the stops I've been making, because I've been really tired lately. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll enjoy your new fast operating system.